Alright guys, can you guys hear me now? Who's all there? I can see Brett in the comments. Anybody else there? We're going to go ahead and get started here. Awesome. I see I got another stream going here on the side. It's a little behind. Can you hear me loud and clear, Brett? So today we're going to go over the 10 things to get any tech to use OneNote. OneNote I use all the time. It is probably one of the apps that I've used the longest and that has been the most resourceful for me. I do a lot of things during the day, between help desk, working on various issues and things like that. And over time, I used to have a really good memory. I used to remember a lot, and then over time, I just started having to take more and more notes, and I was using Notepad, and I was using Word, and then I was like putting them in folders and trying to structure them right, and trying to find things that I wanted was kind of a pain. Or using my email, and email's gotten a little bit better, with Outlook, being able to search for what you're looking for. But I don't like leaving it in there. I like having, something I can pull up on my phone easy, or on my tablet, or on my computer. So that's why I'm going to go over OneNote today. I've heard a lot of people want to use it. There is a bit of a learning curve to it. Right when you open it up, it's kind of like right there in your face. It's kind of got it's got some a quick guide there, but it's kind of overwhelming and everything. And some people want to use it like Word, but it's not really like Word, because it's like this free text thing that you can add stuff in, and then you can insert things a certain way, and then you got multiple text boxes and things like that. So I just want to go ahead and do a quick overview. I pulled out 10 things that I really love about OneNote that I think, based off these features, that you'll probably end up adopting it if you get past the learning curve. And I think everyone should use it. I wish I could get paid for trying to get people to use OneNote, because I've just recommended it to so many people. But we're going to go ahead and get started here. So the first thing is note-taking. So just in general, it's great for notes, right? So let's go ahead and go in here. And like I said, right when you open OneNote, you'll see this page here, and this is the quick overview of what the notebook, what OneNote, all the OneNote features here. So, and how you should structure your OneNote. And like I said, it's a bit overwhelming. So you look at it, you're like, oh man, I don't know if I should use this. Should I create a new notebook? Should I use this one? Do I delete these? Do I need them later? So I'm just going to show you how to get started right off the bat, right? So the first thing I typically do is I start a new notebook. So as you see, I've left this one here. I keep it here, and then I just usually just start a new one, right? So I started one here. It's called the QC Geek Demo. And the way you should think about this is, remember when you were in school and you had a notebook, right, that you used for all of your classes, and you had science, math. So right here I kind of try to rebuild that. You had math as a period, you had science, you had music, you had IT, right? And each time that you went into a new class, there was a tab in your notebook that you just open to that tab, right? So that's what these are. So right down here you have your notebook, right, which would be school, right? And then up here you'd have your classes, and then your pages within those tabs are right over here, right? So then all you have to do is create a new notebook, and how you do that is you go to File, New, and then you can create a book on the web, on the network, so like if you have a NAS or something like that, or on my computer, and that will be local. So I just have one here that's on, I actually have one that's on the web, so it's syncing between devices. And we'll talk about syncing later on, but that's how you create a notebook. And then within here, you have your tabs, right? So let's do one up here. So let's say demo. So I just created a new tab, demo. As you can see, there's no pages in it yet because I haven't added anything. So let's go ahead and do demo 1, right? So right now this is the equivalent of having a piece of paper in front of you and writing right on that very top line a title of whatever that page is, right? So let's say you walk into your math class and today you're going over fractions. You would just write fractions at the top of this page, and then down here you would start inserting your text. So here's one thing, this little text box here, this kind of throws people off. See how it's kind of jumping around here? So what I usually do, I usually just start right here, and I'm going to do demo 1, demo 2, demo 3, right? So I'm just going to keep typing in there and see how that box grows. Now, what happens if you click out of the box? You see how it disappears? Well, if you hover over it, you can just go ahead and continue typing in there. Now, the part that gets some people is, let's say you don't click in there. You click over here. Well, so now you created another text box. Now you have two of them, and they're not the same. So if I move this one over, this one doesn't go with it. So usually what I do is I will stick with one, and you just click in there, right? And then you can also expand it out. So if you want to make your, where you hover over, see how now it's bigger? I can grab this here, and as you type, it will go longer. So let's say you wanted it to be pretty long, right? So now it's that full page. So that's one thing that people have a hard time with, is that little text box there and entering text. The other thing I love about it is, let's go ahead and come over here, right? So you're able to insert screenshots, and this is big for IT people because let's say from your computer you're remoting into another system. So you remote in, and now you want to take a screenshot of the error that's on the screen, right? Because some of them are lengthy. Or let's say it's a full log of just telling you all the steps and then one step failed. You want to grab that whole thing. Well, you're not going to type it out. Sometimes they're not in text that you can grab and just copy and paste. So what I'll usually do is I have this snipping tool down here, and I usually just add that to my toolbar so it's easy to get to. And so I'll click on that, and this snipping tool will allow me to just grab a screenshot real quick. So I'm going to grab that. As you can see, I just grabbed a little edge over there, and I'm going to go over to our demo, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in. So now it's pasted in to our demo page, and I was able to paste it in there, and now it's part of that box, by the way. So if I click and drag, see how it goes with it? It's not a separate item, or it's not a separate object. So that's inserted there. We're going to circle back around why screenshots are so nice. You can do some cool stuff once you grab the screenshot as well. So recording, another thing. So let's say you're in school and you're in a class, or you're in some type of training, for work, and you just want to record what's going on, right? So let's say you want to be able to reference it later. You can go ahead and use this record audio or record video. It should use your webcam. You can go ahead and just hit that button, and now it's gonna fire up your mic, and it's gonna record everything and insert it into your OneNote. That's really nice, and it is gonna be a separate file. I'm not gonna do it right now because I think it's gonna throw off my session. I don't know if it will allow both of them to work at the same time. I'm guessing not. But anyway, you just hit that right where your text, my little text cursor is right here. It will add a little like a voice recorder file, and it will just start pumping everything in there that it picks up on the mic, and then now you have that for later. Super nice. Like I said, if you're doing training, or you're doing, you're in school and you want to you want to pick up on maybe the session that you're in. Inserting files is another nice thing. So let's say in my instance, let's say I'm working on a Cisco switch or something like that. I will go ahead, and before I start working on it, you want to go ahead and make a backup of that file. So I'll go in, I'll do a TFTP, to a TFTP server or something like that. I'll grab that file and I'll put it in this OneNote, and I will grab the config and start working on it. And the reason why I do that is because if I'm working on something, I like to keep a note of what I've added to the switch, so like whatever configuration changes I made. And then that way, if someone else needs it for later, I can send it to them, or I just have it referencing, maybe I did something for the first time, and maybe it's a one-off thing I'll only do every 6 months or so, and I just want to keep notes for it, right? So I want to keep my beginning config, the configuration changes I made, and then maybe even my final config I'll put in here. So that config file is usually in a text file. In this instance, I don't have one. I'm on my personal computer, but I do have a file that I can insert. So what I'll do is I will attach file up here, and then we will go to my desktop and have a bunch of stuff up here. PowerShell. So let's say I have this PowerShell file. So now, see that file? And now this file is, I can put it in here, and it should be, yeah, see, it stays within that text box. So remember that text box. It will get some people sometimes. Well, it looks like it added it in that same line, though, within there. So it is a line item, it looks like. It's not free floating there. But anyway, so now I can click on this, and now it's inserted in my OneNote. This is nice if you don't want to just copy and paste. Like if I copied and pasted this, it's not going to be in the same format as it is now. So I want to have that file for later. So you can just go ahead and insert it, and there it is. And it's actually like it. As much space as that file is taken up, it adds that amount of space to your book. So if you're going to be adding a lot of files, just remember that your notebook's going to be large because it actually contains the file. You also have the option to link to that file. I kind of like just having it in here, and that way if I'm on another computer, it's still in there, or if I have it on my phone, I can still push it. If it's linked to a file that's on my computer, then I have to be on my computer to open it. I just don't think there's use there unless I'm trying to save space, which I'm really not. So, but anyway, as you can see, we've added a few things there. That's that part. Let me go ahead and check the comments real quick. Oh, hey Natalie, thanks for joining. Is anybody else in there? I see Natalie and Brett. No? There's a little bit of a lag between me and the session, it looks like here, but just go ahead and hop in the comments whenever. So let's go ahead and go to the next thing. So the next thing, organization. Organization is huge, right? So that's what I was saying. That was one of my pain points before, was that I was using Notepad and Word, and then I had to have like a folder structure put in there to, like for Cisco over here, HP ProCurve, or per client, or firewall configs and this and that. Well, no, with OneNote you can put it all in there. You can put your config in there, you can put your notes in there, you can attach files, you can record, you can do all that. So it's all in one, and that's the awesome thing. So that organization piece of having your notebook here, your tabs up there, your pages, huge for me. The other thing is formatting and tags, right? So let's go ahead and show you a little bit about that, right? So let's say you have different sections, or let me think here. So like in science, you're going over two different topics, right? So let's say you're going to go over the sun in the morning, right? And then, or at the beginning of class, and at the end of the class you're going to be just going over stars in general, right? So now I have this thing, and I'm going to do star 1, star 2, and then let's make a note. Star 2 was a small dwarf or something. Was small, right? Star 3, let's do star 3 was large. Okay, so as you can see, the formatting in here is kind of, this is just different lines, and I'm adding notes in, right? Well, the thing that I like about OneNote is I'm actually able to come up here and quickly format. So like, Sun, right? That's going to be a headline, a heading, right? So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to add that to a heading. We're going to make that a heading. Now I can see, oh, during this class we reviewed sun and we reviewed the stars, right? So that's a quick, identifier for you when you come back to this that, oh yeah, we went over sun and the stars that day, right? Well, now you have these items underneath here, right? Which is demo 1, demo 2, demo 3. I'm a notebook, Jake? That's rude. Anyway, so what I can do with these ones is I'm going to go ahead and just add bullets to them, right? This is normal, right? Just Word does this, everything does this, right? So let's go ahead and do, let's tab that over, or nope. Star 2 is small, we're going to tab that over, star 3. Hey, Jake, I went ahead and started without you. I didn't know if you were going to join in, but go ahead and add in the comments if you want. And let me know if you guys have any questions, of course. I'm going to keep checking the comments. So if you have any questions, just throw them up there. I'll try to answer them. So star 1, star 2, star 3. So now you're starting to see some organization, some formatting happening, right? Within here, you can also add tags, right? So let's say, when the teacher goes, that's going to be on the test, right? So the sun, we orbit the sun. That sounds like it's going to be on the test. Up here, you have tags, okay? So I'm able to tag this as important because that's going to be on the test, okay? Another thing, a helpful tag, let's say homework, right? Let's make this a heading 1. Homework, page 1, page 2, page 3, and questions 5 through 9, right? So now I have this homework here, right? Well, let's say I wanted to go ahead and make this a list to make sure I get everything done, right? So let's say this isn't due till a month from now, and I'm just may not remember to do all these things, and I just want to make sure I have a little list going on here. So now I have a list that I can actually check off. This is nice, right? So check on and off, see if I got it all done in there. So the cool thing about some of the organizations and with tags, which I think I was going to share later, but while I'm in here, I'm just going to do it now. So find tags. Find tags is really cool. So let's say I have all these notes now, right? And these tags are now buried within a tab and a page within my OneNote. So this is where organization is kind of cool. So we can go ahead and do find tags. And now look at that. So important right over here, right? We orbit the sun. I remember there was something about that I had to remember. So if you click on it, it brings you right back to that page, right? Or let's say you're just reviewing your notebook, and you're like, man, I remember I had some questions that I needed to do. Well, now you have this list over here because it's pulling up your tags. So now, oh, there it is, homework 1 and 2. Okay, I still need to get these 4 things done before next month. So you can actually pull up tags in here, which is really nice. You can mark things as important or critical. There you go, critical there. Then the other nice thing that I like to do, I haven't done it a whole lot on this personal computer, but you can modify tags, right? So then let's say if I wanted to do a blue one and name it QC Geeks, make sure, or just do QC Geeks, right? So I'm going to do that one, and now I'm going to add that one to it. So now I'm going to close this because I think it needs a refresh. So now QC Geeks, you see my demo 1 here, right? So now it's popping up. So okay, I need to review demo 1, right? So this is a quick way to stay organized, is adding tags to your items, and then going ahead and finding tags later on. Hey Maria, how are you? It's a long time no see. Glad to see you in the session. Go ahead and comment whenever you want. So now just a review for some of you guys that just joined. So we went over just note taking in general. So I made this notebook. I added the tabs here. I used the reference. I'm referencing, like school when you used to have a notebook and you had the tabs in them. That's what these are. Then you have pages off to the right here. So you could have, multiple pages here and different tabs and things like that. So, and then down over here, we're talking about organization. So going ahead and structuring your things within a page, how you can add tags and search them later on. So the next thing, syncing online. So I'm just going to brush over this. We all understand what syncing online is. There's a lot of things out there that are allowing you to access your files and things like that across multiple computers. OneNote's no different. You can create a web one, and now it's syncing online, so you can have it on your phone. You can have it on your computer at home and at work and things like that. So all you need is a Microsoft account, an Outlook account, one of those accounts, and then you're able to sync. And like this one over here is my I call it my brainwave notebook. And what this is all the things that I've studied over the years. And so I create a new tab for each one of them. But I'm syncing this across my work one and my work computer and my personal computer, because I might be on my personal computer just doing something after hours just for fun, and then I want to reference the things that I've learned, during the day when I'm at work, and what about zone-based firewalls? I remember I did something in studying. I want that there. Available on all my computers and even my phone. I might remember something, or I might add something in there that I've learned, and I just have this syncing across all of them. And one thing I want to put out there: syncing and sharing, which is our next topic. Shared notebook with others. The syncing and sharing is very just. It's not as feature rich as like Google Docs is or something like that. So like, let's say you were sharing a notebook and you wanted to type in it, somebody else wanted to type in it. You're not going to see them typing in it. You're just going to, at least in my instance, I am using 2010 OneNote. That's my main one. I haven't gone any higher than that. But in my instance, I haven't seen any of that. So it's very just, you have a notebook, he has a notebook, it syncs. It's very smart to know that, like, let's say you're both doing it at the same time, it somehow knows that you made this change and that person made this change, and it puts it all together. So it works fairly well. But if you're looking to share a notebook with others and then like both be able to add notes at the same time, from my experience, I haven't been able to add notes at the same time and make it nice and neat, and you can see a cursor of somebody else going ahead and adding items in there. But that option is there, so you can add someone else to your notebook, and they can add tabs in and things like that. I know for our team, we created one a while back of just general IT topics that are reoccurring that you could quickly search and things like that, and it was syncable and all that kind of stuff. So you can share that with others, either on a mass scale or just one other person. So the next thing is hotkeys. So this is another thing that I really like, and this is more of a productivity thing, and it makes me more efficient, makes me more productive by being able to remember and use hotkeys while adding things into my OneNote. So let's go ahead and go back to our demo. So you remember these things that we added in here, and then I went up here and I clicked on them and added those, and then I clicked and added these tags. And I added the bullets, so it was very clicky, right? So I typed everything out, and I clicked, and I went to a new item, I clicked. Well, you can do all that with hotkeys, and you're gonna want to try to get past that learning curve of using hotkeys, because it just makes it so much easier. So let's say we want to do solar system, right? So boom, right there, hotkey. I went ahead and made that a heading 1 just by a hotkey. So now I'm not even touching my mouse anymore. So I can do that, sun, bullet item, earth. Now I'm toggling between numbers and that. Let's see, there we go, earth, and then Mars. So I'm able to add that without even touching my mouse. I didn't have to go up and click. How I'm doing that is, and the easy way for you to remember is if you actually hover over these, do you see where it says heading 1, Control Alt 1? That is telling you what the hotkey is. So if you want the next one, Control Alt 2. Heading 3, Control Alt 3. If you want bullet items, control period, right? So if I went here, I didn't have one, hello world, control period, adds that, tab, adds a table. If you wanted to tab over, you just get in front of it and keep tabbing, then you would have different tabs there, and you can have your sub bullets. If I wanted to do heading 3, heading 2, heading 1. Now what about tags? Tags, same thing. So you go up here and actually it gives you just your numbers, right? So 1 through 9, control 1 through 9. So, and if you want to, you can go in here and custom, nope, that's not what I want to do. We want to customize tags. There you go. So now I'm able to bump this one up. Let's say I use it a lot. Now it's control 4. Did you see that? So keep an eye on the QC Geek tag. See how as I drop it down, it's jumping the hotkey. So let's say I wanted it to be 4. Okay. So I'm going to click OK there. So now I look up here in control 4. So now I'm going to do control 4, and now that adds my QC Geek tag to that one. It's very, very nice. I can, while I'm on the phone with someone, and let's say I'm taking notes while I'm on the phone with someone, I can easily just format this whole thing and organize it very well, just without even touching the mouse. So you can just do all your hotkeys and add it in there. Now, one of the downfalls of doing that is now when you use Word and Outlook, I try to use the same hotkeys and they're just not in there. So I wish they would make it across the board. All the hotkeys were the same, but they're not. So that is the other downfall to it, is that you might start, as you're typing, you're just going to naturally start doing those hotkeys, and you're like, dang it, I have to actually go up and click tab or click the bullet or the number because there wasn't that hotkey in Word or Outlook. They have a similar feel. So so let's go ahead and hop on to the next thing. Wrong way. Send feature. So the send feature allows you, and I don't have Outlook on my computer, and that's the one I use most of the time. But the send feature allows you to easily just hand this out, right? So now it's in OneNote, and I got to get it to someone. So probably about once every other week, I'll get someone that says, "Hey, what about PowerShell?" Right? Oh well, what about PowerShell, or what about yeah, you were talking about that zone-based firewall, and you did something with it. What? Can you go ahead and share that with me? So I'll go up here to File, and then Send. And you can easily just go ahead and do email page as an attachment, so it will create like a PDF. Email page as PDF. Or actually, email page as attachment will actually be a OneNote attachment. So when they click on it, it'll open up in OneNote. Email page as PDF will be an attachment as PDF. And then you have send to Word. So like, let's say if we did send to Word, right? I can do that here. And it opened up on my other screen, so I'll pull that over. Maybe. So maybe it's not liking that. There we go. So now, the format's kind of large, but now it's in Word, and this is an easy format for people to open, right? So as you can see, it has all the same structure there. I can type in it. So you can drop it to Word, or you can send it in an email. I actually send things through email all the time. So if someone asks me for something, I just go ahead and send email and then send it to them, and it sends them the nice, formatted file just like I have here. It will include all the pictures and text and everything in the format. So the next thing is drawing. Okay. So for those of you who like to add pictures and things like that, and you have a touchscreen with a stylus or a pen, you can go ahead and draw, and it will add to your OneNote, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and go back to our demo. So I'm going to go to demo page within phone notes. And what I'm doing right now, you can't see me, but I'm actually pulling this up on my phone. I have this notebook synced on my phone, and I'm going to add a note with my stylus. So I'm going to draw it out, and then we're going to see it pop up on our OneNote once we sync it. So, and of course, let's see here. I got to sync on my phone because we added the new demo one. I'm not seeing it here. There it goes. So we're getting this ready. It's coming up. There we go, demo 1. So I'm just going to add to my demo 1 page. Actually, I'm just going to go down to the bottom here, and I am going to say so now I just drew a little note. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sync that. And as you can see, there's nothing down here. I didn't draw anything. And let's see. So live here, we're all live. We'll see if it actually syncs. You know, we're not live. Oh, there it goes. Actually, didn't have to click on anything. So the Hello Geeks, what I drew on my phone with my stylus, just popped right in here, right? So some people prefer to take notes. I have a Note 4, so I prefer to use the pen if I can over text. I can type, or I can write way faster than I can type. So I like using that. So now I have a smiley face and I have Hello Geeks. One thing that I want to show you real quick is that the cool thing is it knows actually what I put in there. So if you make it legible and readable, it can actually pick up on what you're doing. So I'm highlighting that. I did copy, right? Ooh, look at that. See that, how it added a new text box? So take note of that, right? So we should be able to, let's see if we can copy that whole thing and paste it within there. So now I'm going to get rid of this. See, that bothers people sometimes. Sometimes it'll get you. You got to keep an eye on it. But I just copied it over and I put it in this text field here. But anyway, what I was going to show you is I can copy this, right? I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do paste. Now notice now that it's actually giving me an option to paste this text or keep source formatting, which would be the same, right? So it should be the words that I actually wrote out. Let's go ahead and do Control and do keep text only. Look at that. It pulled the words that I wrote into text, which is really nice. So if you're into just writing on your stylus or on your computer, and you want to be able to convert that to text, this will do that on the fly, and you saw how quick it was. That's a really nice feature. I don't know what it'll do with a smiley face. Let's give it a try. I don't know. It says keep text only. Oh, it's a Q with 2 dots. There you go. I guess that's what a smiley face is in text. I don't think that's true because I think that's a smiley face, but who am I to judge, right? So anyway, that's a nice feature. Let's go ahead and check the comments real quick. So Maria, magic. Yes, I would say it's magic. I would say that too. I agree. Anybody else? Any other comments? I'm going to go ahead and do a like there. There you go. Another thing, I think I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Let me see here. Insert files. I have my notes here I'm referencing. Yeah, I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but while I'm here, I want to show you something. So do you see how it says Hello Geeks here and Hello Geeks here? If I go up and I do a search, which we'll go in depth a little bit later on, but if I actually go in here and I do Hello Geeks, you see how it's popping up? It's highlighting what it finds, right? So it's actually finding the text that I wrote, or the text that I wrote with my stylus and my pen on my phone, but it's also pulling up the text underneath it. So it's reading. So if you write something out, it's searchable within your notebook. So let's say if I even go to another tab, Hello World. I remember I typed something that said Hello World, or not Hello World. Sorry, that was the other one. Hello Geeks, right? So it says in my demo 1, I have hello, and it's brought me to this page, right? That's where I had my Hello Geeks at. So very nice feature, very useful. The next thing, citation and links. And this isn't like full-blown citation, but it's more of a link that it adds to it. But I'm going to add citation because it kind of just shows where you pull that information from. So let's say I pull open, I'm going to bring over this page here. So Elon Musk, we all know who Elon Musk is, hopefully. He's changing the world as we speak. But anyway, I wanted to do some research on Elon Musk. I need to take some notes on him. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab, let's say I grab this text here, or I think I did that in my demo, or my other one. So let's just do education. So what kind of education does Elon Musk have? Blah, 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 blah. You have this paragraph. You want to put that in your OneNote, right? So you can copy that. And if I were to just paste this, see how it keeps all my links and some formatting, right? So I have education, it's bolded, and then it has the edit button just like it does on the Wikipedia page. It's got my paragraph with all the links. So if I were to actually click on this one, it will bring up the link. So the links are still there. That's really nice, right? But let's say you wanted, oh, and then the other important part, pasted from. Do you see that here? That actually shows you where you pull this information from. So let's say you did share this later on. Like I said before, I'll share something in an email, or I'll drop it to Word and send it to someone, or share it. That link will be there. So that way they can go, oh, this is where Jay got it from. So how many times have you guys went on Google, found a guide, and you want to bring it, you probably do a copy and paste into a Word file or into a OneNote or into a notepad or something like that. This you can bring in, it will remember where you got it from, and then it will put it in same format, everything. Very nice. And typically what I will do is if I find something online, I will put it in OneNote if I feel like I'm going to use it again, because sometimes you'll find things on like personal blogs where like some IT guy is just putting up things that he's ran into. Here's my problem, here's the solution, but then he doesn't want to pay for hosting anymore and he's on to something else. He doesn't have time for that anymore. Well, that page won't be there anymore. So what I'll do is you can copy and paste the text, right? Or you can actually, and I might be getting ahead of myself on this one, but I'm going to do it anyway. We are going to do, let's go up here to here, Elon Musk, right? We're also able to print, change, send to OneNote, print, it's 22 pages. Let's not do that. Let's do 1 to 3, okay? Let's do print. Now it's going to ask me, where do you want to put it? I want to put it in my demo. Actually, more specifically, I want to put it in my demo 1 page. That's the one I'm working on right now. So I'm going to hit that. It's going to say, okay, I'm printing, quote unquote. And now, Elon Musk, that Wikipedia page is now within our page here. Very nice. So I was able to grab the text. It grabs the links, the citation. Another thing I forgot to mention is if you actually do a right-click, paste, and do keep text only, it will only keep the text, right? So none of those links are there. See how outer space doesn't have the link anymore? Here it has the link. So it depends on what you're doing. If if it makes sense to keep the links, go ahead and just do copy and paste. The paste will normally, by default, it will throw the links in. It'll keep the format. You can do right-click, paste, and keep text, and that will just throw the text in. There. So as you can see, 3 different ways for me to pull that information in. I have a link here, which is really nice. I like doing that. Another thing I like doing is sometimes I will just come up here, and just for those that I share it with, I'm going to say Elon Musk. I'll copy the title of the page, right? So Elon Musk here. I'll come into OneNote. Remember that little extra text box if you click outside. So here's the text box here. I'm going to click outside the text box, which starts a new one. I'm going to do Control V, which is going to bring in what I've copied and where I copied it from. And I usually make this a heading 1, so I'll do Control 1, or sorry, heading 2. Uh-oh, look at me. Uh-oh. That's Control 1. Oh, Control 2. I'm losing myself. Oh no. Control 1. Let's just hit it there. So I'm going to do, I don't know what happened there. Control Alt 2. There we go. And then I'm going to do guides used, right? So that way, we'll do Control 1 there, Control Alt 1 for that. So now I'll have this thing off to the side here, and that will show all the guides that I might have used to pull this information together, right? So Control V, renewable energy, Control Alt 2. So then that way, let's say if someone else is doing this, doing this same type of research, or they're referencing my notes and they can't really follow my notes, maybe because everyone takes notes differently. Well, I put this guides you. So if you maybe I didn't insert the part that you wanted to know about, right? The education. Well, hey, in there I have a link to Elon Musk page and his Wikipedia. You can go ahead and find out what his signature looks like, right? So there you go. But from my guide, I was able to provide the guides that I used to go ahead and create that document. I have a comment here. That's actually good to know. I never knew that it actually did it when I asked to print to OneNote. Yes. Yes, very nice feature, very quick. I like it. Another thing that I forgot to mention, Maria, is in your OneNote, or not OneNote, sorry, in your Outlook, you actually have, if you look at the top title bar, if you have OneNote installed, it will actually add send to OneNote on your emails too. So let's say if someone emails you, right? And I think I have one here. Let's see, new section. Yeah. So here you go. This is an email that someone sent me, and in my OneNote or in my Outlook, I just said send to OneNote. I don't have to recreate this document, right? And it actually brings in the formatting of the email, right? So someone sent me, Ryan here, sent me PRTG on an ASA setup. So how to configure PRTG monitoring on a Cisco ASA firewall. Okay, so now I have this attachment that he attached in the OneNote. It just adds it in there. It gives me the format, when it happened, and who it's sent, and then all the information's there. I didn't have to copy and paste or do anything. I just within Outlook, I hit send to OneNote, and it blew in. It was really nice feature, very useful. Let's go back to our demo page there. So, what is our next thing? Let's see, any more comments? Nope. So we're flying through this. Well, kind of. It's 7:21. I didn't know. Actually, we're not flying through. It's been on for a little while now. Send to OneNote. Once again, got ahead of myself. So that's that email part. So within Outlook, you can send to OneNote there. You can print to OneNote. So file, print any page, print, send to OneNote. Great feature, very useful, and blows right in. We already went through that. So that was number 9. The biggest reason why I use OneNote right here, number 10, searching. So once again, I got a little ahead of myself earlier. I showed you some searching within tags. I also showed you how to search some text that you wrote in, or that you've used the stylus with, that you used your touch or your draw. Actually, let me back up 1 second. One thing about draw that I totally forgot. Besides drawing, like actually drawing, you have the ability to add things within OneNote. So arrows, boxes. So sometimes, right, you want to go. So he graduated. He was accepted into Queen's University. I want to point that out, so you can draw there. Let's see what else. While at the University of Pennsylvania, that's important. Right, so now I'm doing that, and I'll show you an instance of where I have done it, productively here. So what is phishing? I went ahead and sent this out as an email, and I sent out this, and what I was saying was, what is phishing? What is phishing? Here's some information about it. I've been seeing this email happening, and I actually just sent this out this week. I see this type of thing coming through our our filters. It's not getting picked up by our filters, so what's your next line of defense? It's the user. The user needs to be informed. I created this document, and what I did is I wanted to point out a few things in the screenshot, right? But I also wanted to not show the person who got this email. So I blocked out the 2 here and the 4, because in this email it used a variable that said insert person's email there. So I had their email. I blacked that out. And then I also wanted to show, hey, look, there's an attachment here. Don't click on the attachment, right? And look at this. Who the heck is this? Kasich at .pl. What is that? So if you don't know this person and as an attachment, this is a red flag. Don't click on it, right? So I added these red arrows in to kind of point them to that. So you can draw on top of your images, on top of your text. You can highlight things. So let's say if I wanted to highlight that, or I wanted to highlight this is a free-form highlight. So it's not going to, just because you're on top of text, it's not going to keep you. So you got to keep your mouse pretty straight, because you could just, you can be all over the place. It's a free draw, free highlight, just like that. So you can draw things. Let's do that smiley face, or the text smiley face, right? There we go. Oh, there you go. So that's a nice feature too. I'm learning a bunch. Great. That's why I'm doing it. Anyway, going back to what I was saying before about searching, okay? Searching is the reason why I use it, because what's going to happen is after you adopt OneNote, you're going to have notebooks like this. See this notebook? I am not going to search and find by clicking and going into every single one of these pages and clicking on every single thing here to find out exactly what I want, right? I'm not going to do that. What you can do though is that you can search, right? So let's say, and up here, this is just an open search, or you can do a Control F, right? Control F finds within this page, so you can see it's finding there. Or if you just click right here, it's actually going to pull up all your notebooks. So it's going to look at all of them, or you can change this to do section, this section group, this notebook, or all notebooks. I usually leave the default on all notebooks because I don't know what I'm going to be searching. I don't even want to click on the notebooks on the left side. I just want to search everything because I know you know where it's at. I don't know where it's at. Just bring it up. Let's do it quickly as possible. So let's say management. There you go, management plane, right? So now I can start seeing, as I type more, it's going to start dropping things. So do you see where it says where it's finding it at? So usually this top one where it says title contains management, there's one, and then this body contains management. So it's even telling you where it's bringing it up at, right? So I have management actually in all of these pages. Management's a pretty frequently used word apparently. But let's say if I wanted to do PowerShell, right? So I know there's some PowerShell command. Oh, so I actually have a title that says PowerShell or manage, or what does this one say? Manage Exchange 2010 with PowerShell. Oh, that sounds like what I'm looking for. Let me click on it. Brings me right there. Now, do you see where it says PowerShell in the title? It also says, oh, let me go back to my type. I don't want to be drawing all over my page. We lost our search after I closed that. So you see how it's showing PowerShell on my, this is actually an image here, PowerShell commandlets of Note, because I did a screen shot of that and inserted it. So this is actually, see how it's grabbing that whole thing, because that's actually a picture that I inserted, but it's searching within there. So if I do get, see, all my get commands are popping up now. Get email, get AD site, get mailbox database, copy status. All these things are popping up now, and it's very easy to use search, right? So remember that screenshot we took earlier? So let's go ahead and try that one, right? So Windows 10. See how it says 10 there? Must not be reading Windows very well. Microsoft, but this is a good example. It's 10, it's working slightly on that one. But let's go ahead and do test 1, 2, 3, or test there. So see how it's popping up test from my, it's highlighting it yellow right over here. So that's very nice that it does images. So remember when I said at the beginning of it, let's say you have a user that has an error on their screen. You don't want to retype the whole error. Immediately when I get there, and the best users are the ones that will call you, the error's right on the screen. They just say, I clicked here, I got this image, or I got this error. Go ahead and take a screenshot of it. Read it, review it, of course, and then take your course of action. Now you can get, remove that error. You have it for later. You can add it to your notes. So you can say, let's say if this was an error, I would say, user A got Java error. I'm not going to type it all out. I have it in my image. Got Java error. Restarting the computer 3 times, fixed the issue as always, right? There you go. So now, later on, when I'm in, I don't know, science, and I'm like, oh, what's that Java error? I can just go Java, well, maybe, Java, saying, hey, demo 1 has something about Java. We click on it. There you go, Java error. So the search works very well. I use it all the time. And like I said, once you keep adding more and more notes to this, the search is just going to become, you know, one of those tools that you're going to use all the time, because you're not going to go through. And I went ahead and I closed a bunch of notebooks that I had just for this demo, because I just didn't want a whole lot of stuff in there. I didn't want to be clicking on the wrong stuff. You know, it's going to be huge. This thing's going to be a tiny little scroll bar, and you're going to have so much stuff in there, and you're not going to want to go through all of it. You're going to want to search it. So that's the search feature. One thing though I didn't think of is, can you search within files that are attached? Let's see. So let's say get distribution group. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to do Control F. Does not search within attachments. So there's another thing. I was just wondering about that. So learning curve that I wanted to go over. Let's see, keep using it. Yeah, the more you use it, the better you're going to get at it. The more fluent you'll get at it. The hotkeys will be second nature. You're just going to be typing and formatting, adding and removing, and doing all that stuff. It's a great tool. And just remember the damn text box. So I put in my notebook, the damn text box and inserting files. Just remember that if that gets out of whack, so if you click outside of this box, you're gonna get a new text box. And if you accidentally already did it, you can actually cut that text out of there and then just add it to this one. So now it's part of that one. And now all of these things, and maybe I should mention that too. All of these things will move except for your drawings, right? So take a look at this. I'm going to move this over. See how my drawings didn't move? So drawings are not part of your text box, okay? And see how they moved, because over time we've been adding things. So usually what I'll do is, with my drawing, I'll wait till I'm all the way done, and then I'll add my drawing on top of it. That's the way to think about it. You have your text, and then you draw on top, and they're two different layers. Okay, so if you move one or one shifts down, then the other one, it does not affect the other one. So it's going to stay right where it's at, whether that's the right text that you need to point at or circle. You're going to have to keep an eye on that. So usually I'll draw last. So this is all. I'm going to leave this up for a second. I know there's a little bit of lag between my session and you guys, so I'm just going to open it up for questions. Let me know if you guys have any. All right, I'm not seeing any new comments in here, so I hope that means I explained everything well. Let me know if you're watching this later on, or maybe in a week or so. Let me know if you started using OneNote. Ping me on the forums if you want any advice or have any questions. Yeah, let me know, Maria. Just let me know. Open a new thing on the QC Geek Lounge and mention that, and then organize. You're a good teacher. Thank you. This is my first one. I was went pretty well, but I know OneNote pretty well, so it wasn't too bad. But anyway, just let me know if you guys have any questions. And this brings me to my next part. The people I was going to give away a few Best Buy gift cards here. I'm going to give the number one interactor, is that a word? Interactor, the person who interacted with me the most, which is Maria. I'm going to give you have $10 Best Buy gift card. And the way to get these from me is to come to our next QC Geek Lounge meetup. So there you go, Maria, $10 gift card, Best Buy gift card for you. The next one we'll go to, let's look in the comments here. Jake, you're just being mean. I'm sorry, you called me a notebook. That doesn't fly here. We're going to have to get the admins on you. Let's go ahead and do Brett, $10 gift card for you as well, being the first one to join and comment. And then Natalie, $5 gift card for you to Best Buy. Hope to see you out at one of the meetups. It's been a while. Like to catch up with you. So hopefully that's some incentive to come out. I think we're good to go, guys. So thank you guys for joining. This will be up on the page for you guys to view later. If you guys have any questions, let me know. We'll go from there. Start using OneNote if you aren't. Hopefully this helps you if you're already using it and you need to get past your learning curve. We'll go for there. So I'm going to tune off. You guys have a good one.